Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Wise Attraction, where we dive deep into Christian relationships and all types of relationships. Today, we're going to be talking about the question that has been on the mind of so many Christian women. Where have all the good Christian men gone? We're not just here to discuss the problem, but to create a constructive dialogue about building strong faith centered relationships in today's world. If you've been following me on social media, you will see that I've talked previously about how it seems like marriages are declining. It's almost becoming a pandemic. In the UK, like there's a downward trend of marriages happening. And the big question, because personally I know a lot of excellent, beautiful Christian women, and I'm just like, why are they still single? What's going on? So to talk about this, how we do it on Wise Attraction, my co-host is Sophie. Sophie, hello, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm doing very well, thank you, Bibele. Thanks for
Okay,
having me
good
on.
to have you on today. How's your day been? What's been going on?
It's been an eventful day. I attended a marriage today, and it was really nice. Married a very dear friend.
Okay,
Mm,
okay.
it was an
That's good.
eventful day. Mm.
All right. So what are your thoughts on this matter? What do you think? Do you actually think that there are no good single Christian men left? Let's start from there.
Well, no, I don't. I actually think that there are good Christian men, there are good Christian women who are out there, and what I think may be a cause for concern is what lens are you looking through to find those good Christian men and women?
Okay. Okay. What do you mean by what lens are we looking
So,
through?
what are your expectations? What yardsticks do you use to measure what a good Christian man is or what a good Christian woman is? That would largely determine what you are seeing and what you are getting. So, if you're looking for something that you have painted in your mind as the ideal Christian man,
Hmm.
you may not exactly find it in that sense. Do you understand? But
Yeah.
there are good Christian men out there. So the big question is, what exactly are you looking for, in my
I
opinion?
and I really get that because recently I saw a video where this lady was saying that women, your spec is an issue. That the spec of the women, what type of man you're a good Christian woman, but what type of man are you looking for? Are you being realistic of what it truly means to be a good Christian man? Or are you looking for a worldly a worldly guy that's in church? In fact, I saw his kids recently where the lady was saying that a guy, in fact, the guy that was even approaching her at the end of the day, he was even pretending to be a good Christian guy, just to get her. But what she was saying she wanted someone that just gave their life to Christ just now.
I
That
don't understand.
Exactly. So somebody that has seen the world, experienced the world, and just came to God. And so that's the type of person she wants. At least that person is going to know what's happening in the world. That person is going to be more fun and all of that. So do you think that this is part of the issue that single ladies have, that their criteria is not realistic, what they're looking for? So is it that the good men are out there, but these women don't really want these good men?
Well, first of all, I'd like to deal with that particular person who said she just wants a baby Christian because she
Okay.
wants to have some experience.
Yeah.
Now, there's a part in my Bible that says, "Do not be unequally yoked," right?
Okay.
And it's important to know exactly what she wants. She knows what she wants, but you see, as a Christian, for you to say
Mm.
you're a Christian, then your yardstick should be one that is Christ centered. You can't want something from well, you can't want, I don't want to be, extreme, but you can't want you can't want something from the devil and don't expect it to hurt you. Do you
Mm.
understand? What you should actually, what your yardstick should be aligned with what God wants it to be
Okay.
completely. Do you understand?
Mm.
If I think there's well, I feel like there's a difference between Christianity and religion.
Okay.
And I don't know, that's another long story on its own. But you see, people want certain things that are ruled immoral, especially in Nigeria. There's certain things that you do in Nigerian Christian uh, circles is termed immoral, but there's absolutely, in my opinion, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Do you
Mm.
understand? And the
Mm.
Bible does has nothing against it, so to me, it's not wrong. Now, if you want somebody who's very experienced, knows music, knows how to enjoy himself, I mean, there are good Christian men who do all of that. So he doesn't necessarily have had to give his life just today or yesterday or a month ago or a year
Mm.
ago to have all that. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
I feel like it takes us back to the very beginning. What exactly are you looking for? There are Christian men out there who have all the wonderful qualities, all the experience in themselves that you think you will find in the experienced men who have just given their lives. Do you
Mm.
understand? There are Christian men out there who are good enough with all the experience necessary, but she's looking for someone who just gave her his life to Christ. You see, that's where the
Yes, yes. I think people's spec is really part of the issue. Well, we've got some comments, and Faith said, "Wow," and then we have a comment from um Layo, and she says, "I think more of our brothers too need to sharpen up." So it's like it's a two-way thing, as a Christian brother, because I think I've kind of noticed this, where
but
people
I
are
don't
like,
understand what the sharpen up means. So is
sharpen
it
up. I think Layo, if you're watching, please expand your comment a bit. But I think what she's trying to say is that the way they approach, even when I was single, you have guys saying things like, "The Lord said you are my wife," they're not presenting themselves well. They're just really just, I don't know if I'll say boring, or just doing things like that make them
hmm,
seem weird. You have some, not all Christian, because there's some that are doing so, like, they're sharpened up, they are presenting themselves, or when they are come, they are confidently saying that is my I desire you to be my wife. They don't have to use all these blackmail phrases. But you have these situations where guys are doing this. But I'm just going to quickly read a research that was done. This is somebody's story, it's a real life story. um I found it online. Rebecca, a single Christian woman in her late 20s, and this is a research, and she's just talking about her experience. And she said there just aren't any single Christian men. I've read all the books. I know that God is in control and all of that. But when there literally aren't enough men to go around, I really don't know what else we're supposed to do. And I think the thing is that, but so for if you were to look at it, just even seeing the way the setting of the church, a lot of churches, you have more women sitting in the congregation, like as a general thing. Have you observed there to be, generally speaking? To me, I feel like the population is even a little skewed. I think there are more women in church than men, generally speaking.
well, I think the number of men and women in the world is roughly equal, though men hold a
Okay.
slight lead with 102 men, 400 women. So, well, in church, you will find more women than men. That's a given. But there are men out there. Do you understand? The men
Yeah.
are out there. It doesn't necessarily have to be from your own congregation. Do you understand? So, for I think for a lot of Christian singles, a lot of I don't want to say us, don't go
Mm.
out. If you stay home all day, if you go to church only, it's just your
Yeah.
church, and then you go to work. Let's assume that all the men in your office are married or
Mm.
are in relationships, and then you go to work, you go to church, you get home, you go to work, you go to church, you get home. How is the man going to find you? How would you know there are these good men out there that you can connect with and build a relationship and eventually get married to?
Yeah.
Do you
So even
understand?
socializing is part of
Very
the thing.
important, yes.
Yeah, if you're just always with your girls, always with your friends, or sometimes you might find that when you get as you're single, as you get older, you might find that most of your friends you're now hanging with married people. It takes a lot to
It
come out
does.
of that bubble, and the bubble of what you're used to, what you're comfortable with, to reach out of your comfort zone. So
Mm,
in terms of because a lot of there's some people that they're so strong on what they desire. They're like, I'm not gonna compromise, I'm not gonna shift, this is what I want, God has to give me what I want, but I find that sometimes, like we said earlier, going back to our previous point, is really what you're desiring that's the problem. So Sophie, do you have, and those watching, if you have any comments about like how women can adjust, because I don't want us to just focus on the challenge here. I want us to try and come up with solutions. How do you think we can get more people in the church to connect with each other? Because there are lots of single guys and there are lots of single ladies, and both parties are saying, oh, where are all the good women? Men are saying, where are all the good women? Women are saying, where are all the good men?
yeah,
So
that's
what
true.
can we do, as a community of Christians, to actually bring people together?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that open your circle.
Okay.
It's very important. Socialization is very, very important. I'm telling myself because I really don't. My life is like a triangle. It's the same cycle over and over and over again. So, I mean, if Christian singles desire to be married,
Mm,
then you need to open your circle. And then, if you are a Christian and you have a spec, do you understand? And you
mm,
say, "Oh, Father Lord, you have to give me exactly what I want." Then
mm,
your Christianity would be somewhat in question to me. You should be able to trust God because it's a part of my Bible that
mm,
says his thoughts for me are thoughts of peace and not of evil to bring me to an expected end.
mm,
So if you should be able to trust God wholeheartedly, Father Lord, well, the way I pray is like a discussion. Father Lord, I want a wife and I want a certain kind of wife, but you are all knowing. You know what is best for me. However, this is what I want, but I leave it all to you. Do you understand? You should be open, to allow the Lord to lead you. In my opinion, if this specifications that you have are hard and fast, it
mm.
might just be the reason why you're stuck where you are. Do you
It's true
understand?
that this openness is something that is really important, because it really takes trust and faith in God to be in a place where you say, well, Lord, this is what I want, but I'm going to put it on the back burner,
Mm,
because we have to understand that for somebody to get to that point, they have to understand that you are fallible, in the sense that you're not perfect. There are weaknesses about you, and so out of the places of your weaknesses or your challenges or your brokenness, some of the things you're seeking. So if you're watching this, you're a single lady, you're wondering, okay, where are all the good men? And this is something to challenge yourself about. What are you actually looking out for? Are you so stuck on the way the guy is dressed? Are you so stuck on the way he's talking that you don't see how much he can love you? Is that guy chasing you everywhere, or immediately you see him, you just turn away? In fact, when he's calling, you're so angry because you're like, why is this guy talking to me? He's not my, like, have I not made it clear? You're so, yes, there are girls that are like, they get so angry,
true.
all of that. What if you just take a moment to look beyond those external things? And I feel like some ladies, while we are on this subject, some ladies, what they're also stuck on is picture perfect, because we've been on Instagram, been on Korean drama, this K drama is ruining people's relationships. K drama is making those people dead. It's not real. Even the face, a lot of makeup. Do you understand? Even just the way they present themselves, it's not even real. Like when you're watching things, when you're watching TV, you're watching your favorite rom com, you're on Instagram, you're scrolling the streets of the internet and social media. You need to understand that only a tiny percentage of what you're seeing is actually real. You don't know the full context. Even when you see couples, they're all lovey-dovey all the time. Even when they are they have is a vlog, is live camera, constantly live. You still don't know what is beyond the scenes, what is behind
Mm,
the scenes. So ask yourself, if you're a single person watching this, I want you to ask yourself, what has informed my spec? What has informed the type of man I'm looking for? And even for single guys as well, I think that it starts from that place of reviewing those desires,
mm,
and when you review it from there, you can then surrender it to God. You know, if there's somebody on your back right now, you're like, this one, I'm not even interested. Why are they coming to me? You need to now start checking, like, God, if I look beyond what they look like, if I look beyond what I think my wedding picture is meant to look like, if I look beyond what I think people are going to say, what really is this person presenting? You know, is this really the person you have for me? And whilst we're talking about Eve, I'm just going to put a comment. We've got a comment from comment section from Faith, and she's saying, I agree that singles need to go out more and socialize to put ourselves out there. We need more social events. So yes, we definitely need more social events. On that note, I'd like to talk about our Open Mic Mingle that's coming up on the 28th of December in Sheffield. If you're looking for a place, you've been going from work to church to home, you've been in a spot where you've prayed, you're like, this year is my year and the year is coming to an end, you haven't really made new friends, this is the place you want to be to make new friends, connect with people. So thanks, Faith, for that comment. Sophie, so what of in terms of the single guys now, let's take our focus away from ladies for a moment. What do you think guys need to do? Because another thing is that there's a lot of I'm not the spokesperson, but there's kind of a lot of complaint about guys that it's like women are doing the work on themselves to improve, to like get better, to work on their character, to work on their weaknesses. But it's like the guys are just carrying it on and they're like, they're just there, you know. So what's your comment to that?
well, I think it's pretty strange for you to say that guys are just carrying it on like they're just there.
Okay.
I completely disagree. I think both men and women work on themselves. I can't tell what people are doing. I can only tell what I am doing. But I
Mm,
think it's only fair to think that, both men and women are working on themselves. But you see, like the other lady had said, the men need to sharpen up. Some Christian men, in quotes, don't know how to present themselves to the ladies. The Lord told me, "You are my wife." Like, for goodness sakes, that's not a good place to start. I think it's important that men are a little more patient. You don't go from 0 to 2,000 just like that. You have to, get some attention and then get to know this sister, and then build a conversation. It doesn't have to go like boom marriage. Build a
mm,
conversation, build a
mhm,
friendship, and
mhm.
then that can now morph into a relationship. And it has to be like a gradual process. It doesn't have to be bang. It can be bang, but it has to be like a gradual process that builds up. And it takes patience. It takes understanding. It takes self-confidence as well you know to build all of this.
Thank you.
But
So
the men are also improving as well as the women. I would like to say that.
thank you. Thank you for
However,
clearing that
in
misconception. Yeah.
society now, there are, well, I feel like, I don't know if it's right to say this, but I feel like the ladies are
Mm-hmm.
a little more, I don't know.
More what? Use
I
the
would
word
like
you
to say
feel.
that, well, demanding, you know.
Demanding. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
carry on.
you know. I feel like women around, mm, I live in River State.
Okay,
I have
okay.
noticed that the women sort of have expectations, very high expectations. My
Like what?
husband should, ready-made expectations. My husband should have a car, he should have a nice house, he
Mm,
should have a this, he should have a that, he should have, I mean, so if you come and you don't have all of these, then they don't even see you. You're not on the radar.
mm, mm,
Now, it brings me to one of my very close friends at the time. She had prayed, she had believed God. She did everything. She's one person that's such a great Christian example. She had prayed, she had believed God, she had sown seeds, she had made covenants, she had done everything about her marriage.
Mm.
But and she had seen quite a number of people. There were several sisters who had come, and her current husband had also come to her, you know, and got to be friends with her and all of that. But she didn't. She's someone who I still am really really close to. She did not consider him. She told me about every other person but him,
Why?
because
Why didn't she consider him?
according to her he wasn't eligible.
Ah,
So
did
she
she
didn't
tell
even
you
talk
why?
about. Well, he didn't have a job, or he
Okay,
had
okay, okay.
something of a job,
Mm.
and he wasn't all of that. So she didn't even consider him at all. And then she kept praying and praying and praying, and it seemed as though the Spirit was telling her, He is within and around you.
Mm.
you know. And then she was worried in her spirit. Look, this is someone who she has a personal relationship with God. She
Mm.
talks to him like a father. She sits on the bed, and then we share a lot of things. We're really close. And then she said to look inwards and ask herself so many questions. And then even said a question, God, but Father Lord, the only people within me are this one and this one and this one, and this particular one doesn't have anything. You can't be the one. And then,
Mm.
the message was still the same. And then she began to pay some attention to him. And suffice to say, they have 3 kids now.
Wow, wow. That's a very, very important. But thank you for sharing that story because this whole thing about spec. You see, when you see someone when they are 20, most of the time, if you meet that, then let's say you meet somebody, they are 20, a guy or a lady, and then you guys go your separate ways, you come across them again when they are 30 or 35, you will see a massive difference in how,
True.
generally speaking, if the person is a Christian, the person doesn't have like any very strong vices, or the person was not already going left.
Mm,
Let's say the person was on the straight and narrow where you met them. By the time you
mm.
come across them again, you see that they've progressed. Even if
Yeah.
they didn't have a job before, we need to understand that people are generally work in progress. People are moving to get better. If they didn't have a job before, next year they might have a job. Next month they might have a job. They might start off a business that progress. Like literally anything can turn around in their lives. The thing that
And
the
I
most
have seen
important.
this happen firsthand so many times. I have
Mm,
another story I'm going to share. So this is a story from my church. A couple in the church, they had very humble beginnings. And then before this relationship evolved, the brother was actually seeing someone else. And she also didn't think he was eligible because she had put him on, some kind of
yeah.
scale, and, she chose someone else instead.
Mm,
Now, as we speak, I don't know if this is necessary, but as we speak, that sister and her husband are not exactly balanced, in my opinion. However, this other brother who was not eligible at the time is now married to someone else. He now has a fantastic job, and he's doing excellently. His business is blooming, his job is blooming, his
mm,
family is blooming, he's married, he has a child. He takes very good care of his wife and child, and he's doing excellently. So if you look at both families now,
yeah.
he is way, 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 I mean, like his light years ahead of this other set of people. But at the time, he was not eligible. So that takes me all the way back to the beginning where, you know, I said, what exactly are you
Exactly.
looking for?
Yes. Yes. That's a
Are
very
you
good point.
looking
Thank
for
you.
something
Yeah.
that is tangible and realistic? Or
Mm.
are you just looking for something that's in your head? You know, you have to know exactly what it is you're looking for and test what you're looking for. And then, of course, don't forget to pray about it.
Yeah, well, thank you, Sophie. You see, this is the thing, when we talk about when we have specs and we have all these criteria, we need to ensure that our criteria is rooted in the word of God. Like you said earlier, Sophie, do not be unequally yoked. That is just the most significant thing. Their faith in God, because as you're a Christian, you generally speaking, to have more harmony going forward after you get married, is important that you marry a Christian like yourself. And then secondly, their character. What is their character like? Those are the two most significant thing. Every other thing is extra. It can be worked on. I know some people are stuck on looks. We've talked about like status now, but some people are also stuck on looks. They're like, oh, you have to look this certain way, you have to be this tall, you have to. By the time you get married to some point, that look, it does not. I don't know who has married for so long. Well, yes, people still remain attractive, and guys say being attractive is so important and so significant to
Mm,
them. So you being a guy, please maybe be able to shed light on it, because I wanted to say that yes, you marry somebody that is good looking and whatnot, but life happens to everybody. We
true.
as we're getting older, things begin to change and reshape themselves. And because I've heard stories like that, where two people got married. The lady was probably slim enough that she now started having children. Her looks, everything about her changed, and the guy is struggling to accept where she is now, thinking she's the problem. But to me, he is the problem, because
Mm,
he needs to. When you marry somebody, you're meant to accept them unconditionally. You can't be, oh, because of their looks. Because yes, and yes, people should make effort. People should work at it, but for
mm,
various reasons, at different phases and different times in people's lives, they will evolve and they will change. Some are within their control, some are outside their control. Some things are even within their control, but they really struggle with it. So if you're stuck on attraction, if you're stuck on looks, and if you say, oh, this person is not good enough, after you marry them, when they evolve, what are you then going to do? Would you let that become a wedge in your marriage? I'm just going to go to the comment section now before we come back to you, Sophie. Lady Faith
mm.
is saying people come in packages that we don't expect. So it's important that singles are open and look beyond the external, and also listen to the leadings of the Holy Spirit. Thank you very much. That's such a powerful comment. Yes, look
Honestly, very
beyond
powerful
the
comments. So, for me, I think I fall into this category. I'm sorry, I fall into this category where looks are very important to me, and it's very difficult
I
to
think most
separate.
guys are like that. Like there's
Yeah,
hardly
looks
any
are
guy I've
very
seen they
important to
said
me.
looks are not important.
But you see, the interesting thing is, you see, when this evolution happens, when your body begins to change and reshape itself, it
Hmm.
doesn't just happen overnight. So I think it evolves gradually. You don't just wake up in the morning and say, boom, you're a different way. So I think that people, men would, I, a lot of people, some people would not like the look. There's certain things that linger on, especially when a woman has had children.
Hmm.
The weight may linger on, and there may be a lot of issues, maybe stress and stuff that make it very difficult for the way to go, or maybe she just don't do anything. I think it's important. Well, this is not part of our conversation anyway, but you see, when one is married, you have a responsibility, and one of that is to look good. I'm not discriminating anyone. Yes, I
I
mean
didn't
both of
see
you
that
have a
coming, but
responsibility. Yes, take good care of yourself. So you
yeah.
still have the appeal. Do you understand?
Hmm.
You still have the appeal to, both partners still have the appeal. It's important that both of you try to take good care of yourself to look good. However, you should love yourselves unconditionally so that, all of these changes don't really matter.
Yeah, so don't be stuck on it. So the beholder shouldn't be
Mm,
stuck on the appearance, but the person whose appearance is
mm,
changing should make effort. So if both parties make effort on their own side, then everyone will be
mm,
will be happier. Wow, this was a really interesting conversation. Key takeaways is
mm. Same
single
here.
guys and single ladies, I think we all have something, we all have a role to play. There are good men out there. For single ladies, if
That's
I'm summarizing what we said, is review your spec, review your tastes, and know whether you're stuck on the things that do not matter, do not truly matter. You need to be sure that what you're going for, what you're looking out for, are the things that can make a difference in your future. Because believe me, appearance it can make a difference, but somebody that looks, that fits your spec completely, you can have very significant issues with them, that you see that spec, it really will not like it won't even matter, so
Hmm.
review, try to as this comment says, let your desires be beyond the physical, beyond the external, and listen to the leadings of the Holy Spirit. And the Holy Spirit might be leading you different from where you set your heart before. And for the guys, please spice up things. Don't come up with phrases like the Lord said, "You're my wife." As
Hmm.
Sophie said, get to know the person. When you meet someone, get to know them, and from that place of friendship, you can now bring up your desires. Own your desires. Don't put
Patiently,
it on God. Yeah, what did you say to me?
patiently.
Patiently, yes, patiently. Thank you very much. It's been a nice conversation. Join us
Hmm.
next week, and do not forget to join our if you live around Sheffield, if you live in the UK, you need to go to mystage.eventbrite.co.uk and register for our Open Mic and Mingle coming up this December on the 28th. Is an opportunity to meet and connect with Christian singles, and also to share creativity and talent. Sophie, thanks
Hmm.
so much for joining the conversation, joining us today
Thanks for
once
having me.
again. Any closing words, any final words?
Well, I don't know if you can pull up the comment from Lady Faith. It's just so powerful.
This one.
Um, yeah, people come in packages that we don't expect. So it's important that singles are open and look beyond the external, and also listen to the leadings of the Holy Spirit. I think that's the most powerful thing, that we need to hold on to while we trust God for, our life partners.
Okay. Thank you very much, and see you same time next week. Thanks, Faith. You're saying great conversation today. Thank you. We look forward to seeing you same time next week to have conversations about Christianity, singlehood, marriage, family life. Have a lovely evening. Thanks, Sophie, and see you next week.
Mm.
Bye.
All right, thank you.
Thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and hit the notification button